Are any other joining? Because I can see only Venkat, Raghu, and
Anand,
Mike join.
yeah, Devi Prasad is trying to join. He didn't get a mail, it seems. Organizer, if you can send him a mail, probably he will join.
Surely.
He's trying to.
Surely I will send it.
He called me.
You can start the session.
And yes, there
Yeah.
would be Satya also who is required to join. Okay, okay. Anyhow. So you can see my screen all correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm expecting everybody has Eclipse on their local. What I will do is we will create one demo scenario, end-to-end demo scenario, where we will be getting some IP details. Means we will be sending the IP details to a server and we will be trying to find out which country it is. Just a demo scenario, a hands-on session, which you can do at your end also, and you can send it to me before the next weekend, okay, and not tomorrow itself, before the next weekend, so that you are aware what we have done, what all things are required to configure one iFlow configuration. So first of all, we will be going into our Eclipse. Okay, so I guess everybody has Eclipse Mars 2 on their local.
Anant, I haven't installed it on my this local one because I haven't received any documentation on that FI. There are two Eclipse versions out there. One is like you have J2E Enterprise EE edition, and the other one is Java edition. Which one do you recommend?
J2E means, one second. Yesterday, okay, one second.
You look at tools.hana.com on the
Just let me take you quickly through that. Okay, so it's cloud integration to Venkat and Raghu. There's a small change from SAP side. They have changed.
Yeah, they updated. Correct.
Yeah,
It was
earlier it was
HCI, right, earlier? Just HCI.
yes. So it was confusing for me yesterday. I was taking the class for Nike also.
Yeah. Even
So
the
now they
artifact
have
screen also they have changed a lot. They are jumbling here and there. They're changing UI.
correct. So, and there was no prior intimation also for this. Means anyway.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is now it's not HANA cloud integration. It's now cloud integration. They have removed the word HANA from their uh, from the list for many things. For cloud, it is only cloud integration. For cloud HANA cloud platform, it's now cloud platform. So you can think of it as means they are now means even in practicality there was this HANA was unnecessary because there was no HANA involved while configuration for us, because it was the HANA database at the SAP end, which is not visible and which is not even accessible to us. We were not leveraging the all the facilities or feasibilities which HANA can provide, HANA database can provide, but we were just were given the old base normal RDBMS. So that's why HANA is removed from the name. Even our Eclipse in the starting Eclipse were based on SAP Sybase database. So the HANA was unnecessary. So they have removed the HANA from the name, and now it's only cloud integration. And in between, I also updated you that they have changed the name to of HANA Cloud Integration to Integration Services. So
Yeah.
there are so many names of the same thing. So I will still use the word HCI in my back of the mind because it's HCI for last 1.5 years. So Just pardon me if I use that name. Okay. Then like you can go to this. You just go to Java. This one.
E,
J2E developer.
yeah. Okay, that's the same thing which I use for HCP as well. Okay, sounds good.
Correct. Correct. Okay. And whatever the version you have, 32, 64, based on that you can download.
Wonderful.
Okay. And once you have downloaded and you have installed it, you are aware how to install this, I guess. Install new software. You just need to go to that link. Okay. The same link is provided on this website also, http://tools.hana.ondemand.com/mars. You just select this /mars. Select the cloud integration tool. Okay, so here also they have changed the name. Okay, just select this one and you can say next and finish. Okay, so as soon as that is done, in the background you would be able to see in preferences your HANA Cloud integration, this in your Eclipse. But the prerequisite is you should have Java 1.7 in your desktop. Without this, it won't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So one more step which we skipped yesterday, I was not able to show you because of the anyway. So here what I'm providing is I'm providing the tenant management node. It's my tenant URL of my HANA Cloud integration. So yesterday I showed you. One second. So sorry for that. So
what are you recommending to us, Venkat, Sanath there? What should we enter there?
So yesterday I showed you the discover screen, correct?
Yeah.
So it was something like that, B0341 something and /IT space. So you just take the only .com URL, not the IT space, copy it, put it into your URL.
But we don't have access to that particular tenant node actually. Are you sharing?
As of no, I'm not sharing. I'm just giving you the details.
Oh, gotcha.
How to do that.
Okay.
In future, if you get the access, okay, you just click on the test connection and you will find, okay, you have the connection to your tenant. Okay, just for the reference in future perspective, I'm just giving you this.
Oh, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
makes sense. And yeah, okay, and if you are successfully connected, at the left-hand side corner at the bottom, you will find an explorer, node explorer. Okay, so in that your tenant would automatically come. Okay, so you will find this tenant and you have some tenant management node and you have your worker node, or what we can say runtime URL. Okay, so we will discuss it in later classes what is the runtime URL. Okay, but you can click on tenant management node and you can find the details of your HCI tenant. So you will find you have an account ID. Okay, which is something SAP uses to identify your ID. Okay, account ID application. Okay, so this is your, against this account ID they have provided one tenant. You can have multiple tenants against one account. Okay, based on your purchase, how did you purchase that? So this could be unique, and this would be unique for one. I mean, this can be multiple. Okay, so and what type of node is this? This is tenant management node. Okay, the runtime URL, again, the one which we put into it. Okay, and you have the version. which is the version, the same version which we see here. Okay. You have the virtual machine name. Okay, so something virtual machine is something what you get at the SAP database level. You get the virtual machines. Okay, so this is something not for us, but for just for the reference, they have provided the virtual machine name. Okay, last alive time. Last time alive means when it was being checked or when it was being tested. So it is the last alive time. Okay, status live. Okay, so what is the CPU used? So 0.97% of the CPU which we have asked for, or whatever number of cores which are available, it is using only 0.97%, not even 1% of the CPU which is provided or which is attached to this. Okay. Then you have memory used. Memory is something you asked in the again. I showed you the purchase list. What amount of memory do you want, and what amount of memory is been used till now. So all these details are available in this node. Okay. So here you can do monitoring and you can do deployment, all these things. Just double click on the node here, okay, and you will find the monitoring. Hello. You will find all the tabs in the below. You have the message monitoring, you have the trace configuration, you have the deployed artifacts and store data store. Okay. So we will see one at a time. Right now, what we'll do is we will create one project. Let's say I'm just closing it. I'm creating one new project. Anybody know how to create a project? I showed you in the last class, apart from Nike.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yeah. New
Yes or no?
Yeah,
integration project.
correct. Yes. Just I'm giving
Finding that.
based on my naming conventions. So I had to provide you one GUIP anyway. So I will give again a GUIP. I have one GUIP already present in my project list. Okay, it's the older one. So I will be providing you one, giving it the name 2. It won't allow me to create the same name, project name. You will find it's training.com.hca. So it will say project, recent project with the same name, project ID exists. So I will say 2. Okay, I will click on next. Then I told you that there are different types of integration pattern which are already been provided by SAP. One is point-to-point, content-based routing, message translator, content-based routing on the multiple interfaces. The first one was multiple receiver, and then you have multiple interfaces. You have splitter, you have a decoder, encoder. So what you can do is, if you have the Eclipse, you can click on all and you can one by one you can click and you can explore it. As of now, what we are doing is we are taking a point-to-point channel. I will just click on point-to-point and I will just click on finish. So you will find on my left hand side one project has been created, training.com.hca.guip2. Okay. I have a sender, I have an integration process, and one receiver one. Okay, it always gives the receiver as one because it by default it thinks that you can have multiple receiver also, so it gives receiver one. So I will just remove name receiver. Okay, so this is basically your integration flow, I flow. Okay, uh, to get more details, just click on the Explorer button, this one, down button, and you will find there are some predefined packages available. Okay, you have the mapping package, you have the integration flow package, you have the script package, you have the WSDL package. Okay, so you can these are the by default package, and only one is having a content and the integration flow package, which is there in front of you. I'm just saving it, and you will find there are errors because I haven't done any configuration at any end. So both the end I have a error. Okay, so now let's take the scenario. Um, let me take the IP address. Just wait. That scenario 11. I needed the IP address. So see, this is the GeoIP service. Okay, so what this GeoIP does is, when you provide your IP address to it, say my IP, so this is my IP address. Okay, so paste it here. Okay, as soon as I provide my IP address to this website, it gives me a response in an XML saying, okay, the return code is 1, which means it's successful. My IP address is this. My country is India. I'm based out of India. My country code is IND. Okay. So, and if I give something wrong type of IP address, let's say 182 no nothing, so it will give me a return code 0, same IP, invalid IP address. Okay. So there I showed you two different responses from the same website. One response is I have been provided with the address of my IP, and one with the invalid IP address. Okay, so this is just a scenario where we will be invoking this same web service through my SOAP UI. Okay, I told Venkat also to read on the SOAP UI what is SOAP UI or something, Boomerang. Okay, so I guess you are aware of it. So from SOAP UI, I will be invoking this message on my HCI. My HCI will in turn invoke the message on this web service, and it will send back the same response to my SOAP UI, or let's say Boomerang. In our case, it would be Boomerang. Boomerang is nothing but XML based invoking service, just like SOAP UI. Okay, so what we will do is, for this service is WebEx. Okay, we would require a WSDL file. So anybody aware of what WSDL is? I guess Nike and
Yeah, it's a web service definition language.
correct. Raghu, is it? Do you know what is WSDL is?
Yeah.
Okay. Devi Prasad also. I think only Venkat, just stay later in the class. I will let you know what exactly Visual is in the later part. Okay, just 2 to 3 minutes after the class, I will be giving you a summary. Okay. Uh, so in this scenario, what we'll do is we would be requiring a sender structure and a receiver structure. In our case, both the structures would be same because I will be using SOAP UI also the same WSDL file, and at the receiver end also I'm using the same WSDL file. So let's see how this works. I'm just copying this whole WSDL. This is the, and first of all, this web service x.com means which allows you to test the scenario. Okay, so this is an open web service just to test the uh, uh, web services. It's a open web server which allows you to test all the web services. It's web services. So what I will do is I will take this WSDL, this open means this already defined WSDL. I will just take it. I will copy this WSDL. I will go to my desktop. Let's say. I've pasted the same design in some text file, okay, and made no changes. I just saved it, changed the name to WSDL from text. Now I have a WSDL file here. Generally, this WSDL file would be provided by either the sender system, by the receiver system, um, or it can be sent. It can be generated if you know what is the structure. Then you can generate also the WSDL file in Eclipse, but that is a very tedious job. It takes too much of time. Okay, uh, and your HCI is an cloud-based solution. So always we would require a WSDL to get the structures from sender and receiver. Okay, uh, there is chances that if you want to have, if you are in the scenario where your PI is existing, then you can create the structures in PI and you can import that to your HCI. So how to do that? You can go to again Windows, go to Preferences, and if in case in your landscape you have a PI system, so just go to the same HANA Cloud integration, and under that you have repository connection. Just click here. You just provide the URL of your PI. Okay, give it some user and password, and you can import the WSDL as well as mapping to the HCI. Means if let's say it's a migration interface, you are migrating it from let's say PI to HCI. So you don't need to create those structures from scratch. You can directly give the URL of your PI, user ID and passwords, and you can import that structure, mapping, all those things directly to your HCI, and then you can do further configuration of your iFlow. So that is good thing because it reduces your time. If you have already invested heavily in your PI, then it reduces your time by a lot of margin. Okay, because your structures creation and your mapping creation, those are the only tedious jobs while interfacing. So that reduces this. Okay, so I don't want to import something. I have my WSDL already with me. So I have WSDL with me. I will just now I want to import a WSDL to my scenario. Okay, so how do I do it? I will just right click on the project. Okay, I will say import. Okay, under general there is an option called file system. We click on next. I will browse to the location where my WSDL is available. Okay, so here it is available on my desktop. So let's say I want to import this to my this geo-ip.WSDL. I need to import it to my WSDL folder. So here under this, the source main, I have a WSDL option. So you can import your WSDL directly to this. Okay. Source main resource means directly under source you will find your WSDL. Just drop down it. Okay. So you will click here and say finish. So you will find a WSDL file imported to your package. Okay, it says UIP WSDL. Okay, so now you have a WSDL. Okay, this is the source code, and if you want to get the design, so this is your design. I did not created anything. I just imported the WSDL, and these things are now available in my Eclipse. So not to worry how this comes out, what changes we have done. We haven't done any changes. We have just imported the WSDL to my Eclipse. Okay, I'm closing it. Now you will find where exactly this WSDL will be required. Okay, so now I'm going to my sender configuration. And now one by one I'm doing the configuration from sender to my HCI to my integration process to my receiver. So first of all, I want to change the name. So let's say it's my PC or SOAP UI. Let's say any arbitrary name. So this is my my sender name. Okay, this is it. My sender name is provided. Then I will go to the channel configuration. Okay, so channel configuration is nothing but your adapter specific configuration. So just double click on it. So it will automatically take to you to the sender channel configuration. Okay, so in general you can give it, let's say, so does not allow any spaces in this. So boomerang sender, just a name. Now I will say my sender adapter, it is SOAP UI or SOAP. So I will click on what type of adapter do I need to use. So at the adapter type, I will click on types. I will take SOAP as my adapter. I will select it, click on OK. I will be taking 1.x as my adapter message protocol. Let's see if it allows me to do or not. Okay, now I need to provide an address. Now what is this address? This address is nothing but a unique name which you need to provide, okay, through which your SOAP UI can connect to your HCI. So this is a weird thing, okay, it happens in only in HCI only. What you do means all the cloud-based application, what you do is, as this is a cloud-based application, there would be different adapter, different scenarios which will be present, and you need to know at which you need to configure, which you need to hit. Okay, means if there are, let's say, 8 to 10 interfaces in your HCI, then you need to have a unique address for each interface so that your sender system can identify and send it to that HCI interface. So we will understand in later what exactly I mean. Okay, so I'm just giving a name slash HCI slash GOIP, just an arbitrary name I have given. I can add slash sonnet also here. Nothing hard and fast about it. Okay, I can give anything, but just sake for giving uniformity, I'm saying slash HCI slash GOIP2. Okay, the WSDL. Now the URL of WSDL. So I have an WSDL already present in my package. Okay, so you can find, just click on browse. So you will see my GOIP is populated here. Okay, so my GOIP, I just clicked on it. Now which service do I need to invoke? Okay, so I have a SOAP, I have HTTP, I have SOAP 12. So we are just going with the SOAP GOIP, this one. So based on that, your service P1 GOIP services, whatever the XML annotation that is present, and the endpoint URL also get populated here. Okay, now the processing settings, under processing settings, it would be a robust one or WS standard. It's based on the what kind of processings do you want. You want a robust one, and if you are aware of what SOAP is, then you would be knowing what is robust and what is WS standards. Okay. The authentication, now user authentication. User authentication is for the sender to send the data to my HCI. So I told you the certificate based communication. So that day we had a class specifically on certificate based communication, what type of certificate based communication or what are the user based communication. So in our case we will be taking a certificate based communication. So click on client certificates. Okay, now I will be showing you how to download this certificate in later classes. Okay, but just as of now, for the sake, think of it as I have downloaded certificate of my browser. Don't get panicked. We will be understanding what the certificates are and how to download the certificate. Okay, I've just downloaded the certificate from my browser. Very simple steps. Okay, so I'm just importing that to my HCI. Okay, don't get confused or what are the certificates and how this works. Just think of it as you had some certificates which are provided and you have imported to your scenario. Okay, the same thing. So this is done. My configuration of sender is done. What I did is I gave an address. Okay, the WSDL I just selected from the existing one, and I have imported the certificate of my sender. Okay, and this is my public key certificates to validate my sender. Okay, so this was my data specific. WS security, I am not doing any security, extra security or the conditions. So what would be the size of my message or how much attachment is it allowed. I'm not doing it because it's a simple scenario. There would be no size issue or means there would be attachment to it. So these are the only configuration which we do at the sender end. Okay. Now just save it. After details. What's it after details? Now we will go with the receiver channel configuration. At the receiver end, what we'll do is, again, we have a SOAP scenario only. Okay. Again, why I'm saying so, because we would be heading to this services. Okay, the services. So this is again a web-based service, and this is SOAP-based service. So this is again a SOAP scenario. So I'm taking SOAP as my receiver adapter. Okay. At this end, we will be giving the address of this. Okay. So this is the address. If you want this address, means this. If you want this address, you can go to the WSDL file. Okay. I have a WSDL file. I will just open it to the in the XML. Okay, and you can get the endpoint URL from the SOAP actions. Okay, just go down and you will find the address SOAP URL. Okay, so this is the URL which we want to hit. Okay, so www.webservice.com/UIP service. Yeah. It's the same URL here also. I will be using this URL in my Eclipse. Just pasting this URL. Again, this is over internet. It's not on-premises system. Okay, so over internet, I will browse for my WSDL. There would be always the case that your sender WSDL means there would be cases where your sender WSDL and your receiver WSDL would be different, but in our case it's same. So I'm just selecting the one. Again, I'm taking the SOAP one. All the endpoint and these things automatically populate in my this thing means my service endpoint and operation all came automatically. Now you can see there are different things. Do you want to compress a message? If your message is very big, so you can do a compress on this. Chunking is something you can break a message. If it's a large message, then you can break that message into small bits. So it is called chunking. Clean up request header. If you want to remove the header and then only send the request to the sender system, then you can clean up the request and header. Do you want to have a basic authentication or not? Okay. Um, by default, it takes the private key alias. You need to provide the private key alias here. We will see what those things are. But as of now, we don't want any authentication at the receiver end. So I'm just clicking out. We don't want it. So all these things are removed automatically. So this is it. We have done the configuration of receiver adapter. I need to provide one name to this receiver. Just can you give me 1 minute? One second. Sorry for that. So you have done the sender configuration and receiver configuration as well. in your iFlow. So you can see this is quite simple as compared to any other type of interface created in any other tool. Just provide, means if it's in simple scenario, it's done. Okay, all the type of configuration. What we'll do, we will save it.
Sanath, could you please go to receiver one time and the adapter specific settings? I'd like to quickly take a look at that.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
adapter specific. Can you scroll down? Okay, okay. That is connect without client authentication. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so now you can see there are no errors in my scenario, nothing. Okay, it is, what I did is to test it, and I just clicked, I have just saved it, the scenario. To save the scenario, I right clicked on anywhere in my iFlow, clicked on execute checks. Okay, so just click on execute checks, and you will find that there are no errors. There is no project failed. All are in pass. Okay, this is in pass status. Okay, so this is ready to deploy on your HCI live, or let's say on the cloud. So how to deploy it? Okay, the simple step: right click, deploy integration content. Okay, and it will automatically populate the tenant ID. So in my case, it's 0341. So just click on OK. Okay, and at the lower end in the my console, you will find it one integration content triggered successfully. Any failure, 0. So if I want to view my content has been uploaded correctly, so I will go to my monitoring. Under my monitoring, there is an option called deploy artifact. I will go there. I will search based on the last time, and it's not there. So I thought it would happen. So it generally happens for the SOAP message protocol for this one, 1.x. Not sure why it happens. If I select the SOAP RM message protocol at the sender end, and then I give that same URL slash HCI slash geo URL. I'm just quickly doing the steps. Instead of 1.x, I have just changed this to reliable messaging of SAP. Now I'm doing again the executive checks. Okay, it's passed. Now again I'm deploying it. So now I'm again going to my monitoring. Okay, it should come now. Has that been triggered correctly? What's the issue here? Because it's showing successful here, deployed successfully here, and then it's not showing. One second. Based on the timing. So this thing happens.
Anat,
Yes, sir.
Anat, in receiver side, you maintained SOAP 1.x.
You?
Yes.
Okay. Let's check. One second.
Failed one.
Yeah. It's not giving an error.
Transport protocol is SOAP.
Yes. Sorry?
Transport protocol is SOAP. You maintain HTTP.
It's HTTP only.
HTTP only.
No other option. It happens. One second. Just give me a minute. Because they do tend to change the configuration. Okay. Okay. So now you can see there is a deployed one. So the changes which I made is at the sender end I kept it 1.x, at the receiver end I made it the reliable messaging. That's it. There is no other difference. From the sender end I kept it same 1.x only. At receiver end, not sure why this happens. Means generally it should, if I keep both 1.x same at the both sender and receiver, it should allow me to deploy because there are no errors also coming. But in some cases it means in this scenario do tend to give me error. Okay. So anyway, you can do the same thing at the sender and you can keep 1.x the message protocol and reliable messaging at the receiver end. It hardly does any difference in the configuration. Okay, so once you can see this is already deployed, you can see this has been deployed against my user ID with this means at this time, okay, and my ID is this thing, okay. So now what I want to execute this scenario. So how to execute this scenario? First of all, to execute this scenario, you need to have a URL of it. Okay, so how to get that URL? So just go to your worker node. Okay, so what is your worker node? Your runtime node. I told you this is terminal management node where you get the details of your tenant. Okay, and now this is your runtime node, IFL map. Okay, click on it. Okay, so as soon as you click on it, again you have the details. But apart from that, you have one more tab which is called services. Click on this service and you will find all the URLs, all the sender URLs automatically created under this. So see, there are so many URLs, you have to find yours. Okay, the when you have created right now. So we had /HCI/GOIP2, okay, and that was under my scenario called training.com.goip. So okay, so this is my training.com.hci.goip2, okay, and this is my URL generated automatically in my runtime. Okay, just a second. Okay, so this URL, using this URL, you can connect to your HCI. Okay, so we will be requiring this when I will be sending the data. So how to trigger this data from my local? So let's say I will go to my Chrome. There is an add-on called Boomerang. Okay, so just do how to add a Boomerang to your Chrome. This is a simple process. Search Boomerang and apply to your Chrome. Click on this. It helps you to trigger a SOAP message. Okay, so how to do this? When you have a Boomerang, you would be provided this screen in front of you. Create a new project. Okay, let's say I'm saying test PI slash okay, we'll check it. Okay, under this it will let me create a service. Okay, to create a service you need to have a structure in this which you will be sending the data to the HCI system. So let's say for our service we have a WSDL file already present on my local. So I'll click on create a service. Okay, it is asking for a WSDL URL. So just browse where exactly your WSDL is available. So it's available on my desktop. Okay, do I need to give one service name? So I have a service name, two services, GOIP, get GOIP and get GOIP context. So we are not interested in the get GOIP context. Now what we will do is we will provide the URL which we got from here. So this is the URL. I'm just copying the URL address. Copy endpoint URL. We'll go here. In my endpoint URL, I'll provide this URL. Okay. Let's say I want to have the IP address. So in my IP placing this in this. Okay, so in this format I am sending the data to my HCI using this URL. Okay, so using this URL I will hit the HCI this iFlow. Okay, and what my HCI will do, it will take the same content and it will push it to the web service x.net, and it will get a response from that service and it will provide the same response to my this boomerang. So let's say I'm just giving a request. So you can see the URL is of my iFlow. So I'm just sending it. Okay, see, you get the response. Okay, so the same response which we were getting in the this one here, we were getting the same response, India successful IND. I'm getting the same response from my boomerang also. Okay, so if you have any other IP from any other country, I can put into it and I can use it. Let's say 11.70. So anything. So should I get a response? Okay, yeah. So this 11.70.28.26, it is an IP of US. Okay, so it means the starting one, it is for US. Okay, so you can see it is giving response to all these things. Okay, so by this you know that this message is in successful state. So if you want to do a monitoring, you can just go to your Explorer node. Okay, again, double click on Explorer node. In the message monitoring, okay, so you can customize your monitoring. You want all the messages, last hour messages, only failed messages, completed messages. So as of now I want only last hour message, all messages. So I will click on search and you will find my two messages for GeoIP. I will click any of this and you will find the details about it. So if you want to view the logs, you can go down. Okay, so it will provide at what time it started, at what time it ended, how many millisecond it took. Okay, so it took around some 20 milliseconds to complete this message. Okay, from start to end. Okay, it started somewhere around 3.376. Okay, so this is just for your reference. If something goes in an error, then in that case also you will be getting an error message. Okay, so let's say what type of error will we get. So let's say I'm just removing this www. I'm trying to send. So you automatically get an internal or error occurred. And you can go to monitoring and you can find the same thing. Okay, so I just remove this. Let's say search. So you haven't failed message also here. It took 3 milliseconds. Okay, in all, and it will say that the source message, the error was at the 5th row 11th column. So here it was something 5th row 1 2 3 4 5 and my 11th column. Just go there and find out means what was the issue. And if you are able to read through the error message, you will understand that it is saying that it is expected something this at there. Okay, only it was not expecting www here in this place, only the column, this colon. So because of which it is giving an error. Okay, so we have triggered both successful and error message at the in the Eclipse. Okay. So I know this is fast. This was fast for many people, but have you ever to grip any small things also? Because I will be repeating it. I will be showing it through different scenarios also. But anything, any issue right now, while which I can clear it right now, Venkat. I know it would be very tough for you. It was a little fast, but don't worry, you will grip it.
Yeah, before switching on to any other topic, just like step by step what we have done, if you can summarize,
Yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
that would
Yeah,
be good
so
for me to remember. Yeah.
yeah, I will be giving it. Apart from this, any other issue with Devi Prasad or Naik?
Hello.
Yes, Devi Prasad.
Tara, let me know how to send it is design to your mail ID.
Okay, okay, okay. You can send it to Bharat. You already created, so have you created this scenario already?
No, no. I actually how to do that.
Okay, okay. I will show you. Okay.
Today we
As of
will
now,
do. Today we will create and send to your mail ID.
yes, 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 sure, sure. Okay, I will show you. Okay. Apart from this, you are aware means any issue with the configuration or something?
No, I don't have any issue.
Okay. Raghu?
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Nike, I guess it would be, you would be aware of it.
Yeah, the only thing I still have a dilemma here is this. See, you're populating all your HCI tenant node, the worker node details there. So what
Hmm.
do the other group people will do? What do people like me like? If you, I can download, I can give you the iFlow. It's pretty fast. But the point is, what URL IDs do we need to enter? Or you're going to enter those on your side?
I can give
Ah,
anything. You can give anything.
no. What I
But
meant is, you will load onto your Eclipse and you populate the endpoint URLs with your HCI ID. Is that what you're going to do? And then
yes, 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 yes.
deploy it.
Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So give
There is
some,
another way also you can import this entire iFlow onto the.
sorry?
Is there any other way you can directly import a iFlow directly onto the HCI other than Eclipse?
Mm, 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 you can go to your web UI of your HCI. In the design portion, there is an option called import the messages. Means import the iFlow to your uh, HCI.
Mm.
So that is one more process, but I would prefer Eclipse better because I will do directly I can change the configuration and then deploy it to my
Gotcha.
correct. Uh, we can do both the things. I will show you that also. Okay. And apart from this, if you are giving an address, okay, so put your name and then the
Yeah,
address.
that's why I just want to make sure because I'm sure everybody's going to plug in the same.
Yes, no, no, just give your name so that it would be unique. Okay, I have a document also. I have to send this document somehow. Do it. The declaration, the document, it is updated one, I guess.
Yeah. Still, we are waiting for any kind of documentation from Bharat. Sanat.
Mm,
Oh, so Venkat, you have also not received any documentation?
no, no, I guess not. So
Wow.
cool. So what I will do is your mail address are with all Bharatna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will send him a link. I will upload this to the let's say Google Drive, all the documents which we have completed, and I will send it link to him. you can download it today itself. Just after this class I will upload those, because I'm not sure Bharat has this updated one. Bharat has the older one, all the documents, but yesterday also there was some minor changes to the document, and today also I would remove this 1.x to RM, because earlier it was working, now it's not working. So I guess SAP only knows why they have removed. But I would update that same thing into my document also, and I will I will give this document to you, and then you can download this document, because this document contains everything. For each step I have pointed out what things needs to be required. Even I have attached the WSDL also to the this document. Or if that WSDL doesn't work, because I have got this complaint that this WSDL doesn't work, this attached WSDL. So I will just update the one second, I need to update the URL of this WSDL. So you can use this WSDL, do the configuration, okay, all the things, all the steps. I have also specified in the update specific, choose the address you want. I have given get IP, whatever you want to give, slash your name, slash something like that. Okay. Then at the receiver end, choose the RM1. Okay. Reliable messaging. Okay. Provide this address, same address. You can get this URL from your WSDL. Okay. And execute the checks, update the checks. Okay. And deploy the same content, and through Boomerang you can test the scenario. So this document contains all these details. Okay. Now what we can do is, I will just show one more advanced step in this, which is mapping. Okay. So should I continue, or it's too much to digest for one day? If you want, I can continue for next 15 minutes and I will complete that mapping also. Little bit of mapping.
Oh, you can go ahead. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not sure about others. Yeah.
So taking rest from others also.
Yeah, please.
So now what I'm doing is, I will be adding a mapping to it. So it's an interesting thing. Mapping is something like changing the sender structure to receiver structure, but in our case, it's both are the same. So what we are doing here is, we are sending some small portion of my let's say my message, and other small message I would be doing hard coding in my mapping. So kind of a small tweak in my flow which I have already created, but it will give you a brief things, means how mapping is done, and what all steps are required for the mapping, because generally as of now in the market the main scenarios are already for mapping only. Other this events, stop events, start events, these events are not that much required, because those were not so much predominantly used in PI also, and most of the scenarios of PI and PIPO, which are just sending the data, doing the mapping, and then sending receiving the data. So we have already done the sending and receiving of the data. The only thing which is required is now mapping. So we will be using this mapping extensively in our scenarios all over in any of the landscape. Okay. So just go to the palette in the right hand side. Under message transformation, you have an option called mapping. Just pick it and place it between the connector. Okay, so you will find it. Okay, there is a message mapping available. Okay, but as of now there is no message mapping assigned to it, so we haven't created any mapping here. We have just given an event that in between the two sender and receiver there would be a mapping. So what I will do is I will click on it. I will say I want to assign a mapping. So I will click assign a mapping, but in my scenario there is no mapping. So I will click next, cancel, click here, create a new message mapping. Either this mapping can be imported from my PI if I have a PI system and I'm migrating the data from my PI, so I can import that. First of all, import that mapping to my landscape and my folder, and then use it here. Okay, or else I can create a mapping from scratch. Let's say again I have to give a valid name. Valid means this is the naming convention which I follow as per my company. You can use any of the one which is there would be some naming conventions, naming standards in your project. So follow those. This is not the standard way of writing. Okay, so way of writing. Okay, so under this, this is the folder. So my mapping name is training.com HCI GUIP2 mapping, and it is under my project at training.com.hci.gip2 and under my folder path mapping. So this will finish. It will automatically give me a source element and a target element. So in our case, both source and target element are GUIP. So let's take the GUIP. I think this is the one. And in the same one. Okay, so correct. I am just sending an IP address. Okay, so at both the end, I have the IP address. So how to do mapping? It's just like you do if you are from the background PI, so it would be quite simple for you. It's just graphical mapping. Okay, you have the sender and you have the receiver fields. Okay, so I want to attach, I want to send the data as it is of this field to this field. So I'm just picking up and placing onto it. So automatically connector is there. Okay, so there is no change in this between. Okay, now in my IP address, what I will do is this is my IP address of target. Okay, and this is the IP address okay my source. Now what do I want to do is I want to do concatenation. Okay, just simple concat. So I've taken a concat function. Okay, and this concat, what it does is takes first and second and send it to the receiver. Okay, so I'm just taking it and I'm placing it here. So as of now, there is no input to it, but output is going to IP address. So let's say the IP address which is coming from the source I'm placing here, and I'm hard coding the next portion. So let's say constant depend. Okay, so you have a constant here. Just take this constant and place it to this. Okay, now under this constant, let's take from my boomerang, I'm taking the second half portion and I'm hard coding it in my scenario. So this is my constant and this is my hard coding now. Okay, so this is a simple mapping where in this between two I have just done a hard coding. Now I will again go to my mapping. I will click on my mapping. I will assign a mapping. Now I have a mapping here. Earlier you knew I showed you there was no mapping. Now it's there. Assign the mapping. Now in between the scenario, I will click on execute checks. So it will say failed because I haven't saved this. So once I will save it, then I will click on execute checks. So it is passed. I will deploy this scenario. Again the same scenario, and the worst part is it just override the interface. Okay, so you don't have the version management as you have in the PI. So do remember, if you are deploying the same one to the tenant, you won't be provided with the version management. You won't have the older versions available. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so now you can see I have deployed one iFlow to my HCI live or HCI production. You will find this timing will change. It's 9:03. It will change to 9:38, 9:32. Okay, now it's changed to 9:32. Okay, so now I have it. Okay, now what you can do is you can go to your boomerang. Okay, you just remove this portion 11.70. Okay, and you just keep this portion only, remove this, and still it will give you a response. Okay, I'm just sending this much amount of data only to the HCI, but what HCI will do is it will add those extra means the additional IP address to the receiver end, and we will again get the same response. So see, we just send the IP address as 11.70, but in its response we are getting full IP address 11.70.28.26. So this is where your mapping comes. You can manipulate with your data, you can manipulate with your structures, you can manipulate with your full entity. Okay, and if I again send this full IP address from my sender, you will find it that it will give an error. So invalid IP. See, result 0, invalid IP, because we have already provided this was the IP which we sent, and from my HCI they have HCI, it has added again 0.28.26. so this is again, this would be an invalid IP. The message is successful, but the response is invalid. Okay, any questions for this? because this is the only thing in means messaging mapping we will be doing extensive mapping, but this is just for reference what is mapping and how it works. I have to show you this one. Is it good? Hello?
Yep, I'm good. Yeah, very good, Sanat.
Sanat,
Yes, sir.
can you tell the procedure how to download the certificate from this site? You added a certificate in communication channel.
Correct. So for certificates, see, your HCI, it either works for the certificate basic of communication or your basic authentication user ID password. So in our case, for just for reference, we could have gone for the user ID based authentication for, but majorly you will be going with the certificate. So what I did is I had to authenticate my Boomerang. Boomerang is again an extension of my Chrome. So I had some certificates already installed against in my Chrome against my ID. If you are aware that there is, you can install a certificate, passport certificate for your SAP for managing your logins. So what you can okay, I will show you that also. What you can do is go to SAP marketplace. Okay, and in SAP marketplace there is an option called simplify your login. In the right hand side there is an option called simplify your login. Just
Okay.
click on it. Okay, click on it, and then I'm showing you all the steps. Okay, click on it. I would say do it through your Internet Explorer. Don't do it through your Google Chrome. It won't allow. As per my experience, it does not allow to install. Okay, just click on the download and install a browser certificate.
Okay.
Okay. It will launch, authenticate. It will ask for a password. Okay. Okay. So just add some password, the same password of your
HCI.
not the HCI of your S user. Means this is if you have an S user or SCN user.
Yes.
So you can add this. Okay, you don't require HCI access for this. Okay, this is just for the authentication of the sender. Okay, so once I apply this passport, I will go to my settings of my Chrome. Okay, in my advanced settings. It's my advanced settings. I have no advanced settings. Under that, manage your certificates. Okay, so here this is my certificate applied. As soon as I click on apply certificate, but that should be done through your Internet Explorer only, as per my experience. Okay, so this is the certificate. Now what you can do is go to export this certificate. Next, give the place where you want to download. Okay, I've been doing it on my desktop. Save. Next, finish. Okay, nothing, simple step, and my certificates are here. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how my certificates work. Okay. I am doing certificate based because you get a knowledge what exactly certificates and how those works in this scenario. Okay, because the same certificate-based scenario would be coming to your for the ECC also, or for C4C also. That's why I'm making you familiarize with the certificate-based communication. Okay. So is this good with you?
Yes.
Raghu?
Yes, sir.
Naik?
Yep,
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thanks, sir. Anything you want to add?
No, could you please share the documentation at least? Like, I would like to go through the initial whatever the decks you have shared with other folks. I would like to go through it.
Sure. It will be done today itself. Okay.
We need videos also.
Sorry?
We need videos also, Sanath.
Videos for theoretical part, yeah, that would be shared.
Okay, sure.
Venkat, I am sure it would be a little hectic for you today, but not to worry about it. Okay, so if there is no issue with others, you can drop off. We will be meeting you tomorrow. Okay, I will be giving you some means in tomorrow we will be understanding data persistence and data what are means content modifier, what are message containers. So tomorrow class it would be advanced part of our HCI means, and you can explore that to your Eclipse also. So not required the HCI Eclipse, your HCI tenant. So let's meet up tomorrow. Okay, I will be sending this document today itself. I would ask Venkat to stay just 5 minutes so that I can just brief him about it. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Naik.
you.
Thank you. Bye, Sanath. We will meet tomorrow.
Yep. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Venkat, you there? Hello? Venkat? Venkat, I cannot hear you. Hello, Venkat? Venkat? Hello, Venkat?
Hello?
Yes, Venkat.
Hello, Sanat?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, now I rejoined actually.
Okay. Was an issue?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
just I want to inform you. Yesterday, I mean last week, this entire week we were preparing proposals. Okay, in that we have one scenario
Okay.
like integration of Employee Central SF Employee Central to on-premise payroll system.
Okay. Okay.
So as of now, they haven't. They said just included, but I haven't given any estimation or any kind of details regarding that. They may come back to give those details in near future. So just heads up if you can. If in case if I need any help on how to provide that, I'll reach you. So,
Yeah, sure. So today you got what was going in the class?
yeah, I mean, like little some places I missed actually. I mean, I'm not able to follow. Uh,
Okay.
just
Which are
because
those?
I have the steps I have noted down, but why we are doing is something which my understanding is that we need to send the IP address from this system to the receiver system.
Yeah, and the receiver system is giving a response in return.
Pardon?
The receiver system is giving a response then
Yeah,
to us. Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
So that is all done through my HCI system. Okay.
Okay.
My HCI would be in the middle. It will be taking the request from my, let's say, Boomerang or my IP, means my whatever SOAP UI, and it will take that request, it will send to the web service, and then the response which it get from the web service, it provide back to the Boomerang. Okay.
Okay.
So kind of a middleware work, a simple middleware
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I think you are getting those things. So if you have the steps with you, I will be providing this document. Okay, just go
Okay.
through this document,
Yeah.
and all the documents whichever I am sending, go through those documents and
Okay.
try to recreate this scenario in your
Yeah.
clips today or tomorrow. Okay, means tomorrow also, because I will be giving this assignment in tomorrow. And then you can complete it in the weekdays. You can provide those imported files to me on before next Saturday, so that I can view them and I can check if it's
Okay.
correct or not. Okay,
Okay.
so just do that and let me know. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sir. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
1 minute. Sanat, please,
Okay.
another, I need 5 minutes of your time. Uh, I have these details. I mean, as I said, my company has given me HANA Cloud Platform details, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, just
Okay.
so I will share my screen if possible. So you can tell me what I can do, how to use that details. Is it fine?
Okay, I have made you presenter.
Yeah. Checking. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Sanat, this is a system they have given.
Okay.
So I have to go here to Robert Bosch, Europe. Then we will get this subscriptions, right?
Hmm. Click on the Robert Bosch.
Yeah.
Down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
On the left hand side you have some applications, Java applications. Click on this 3 Java applications. Okay. Venkat, I have a hard stop. I have one more meeting in next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Bharat, one second. Venkat, can you wait
Yeah.
for 5 minutes? 1 minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, Venkat. You were saying? Yeah. So under your integration means is your HCI even activated? Venkat?
Yeah, Sanat.
Is your HCI HANA Cloud integration services activated?
That's what I need to check with you. This one is there, no? Cloud integration.
I'm not sure if it's there or not. Because under your subscription, just can you go to right side, right, sorry, not left hand side, there are 3 lines, click on that. Go to, now go to the, in the back, yeah, this one. Yes, under subscription, click subscription. You don't have HCI, means your integration there.
Yeah, that's what they said. They just said we have data services. We don't do integration services. So what is the thing I need to request them if I need it, the HCI to be installed?
You need to have just check with them, because if they have already data services, then you need to take only an add-on for it, as per my knowledge, because I don't know if they have changed or something like that. But you just need the add-on on it, which would be your integration services, process integration.
Okay.
And you can just mail to SAP if we against this CP ID, HANA Cloud Platform ID, I want integration services, process integration services. So what are the costings and what would be the process to do that? Because for each, means for initial steps, it would be sending the sending pure, means you have to buy for a particular package, and then you get the data services and process integration services. But in your case, you have already the data integration services. Then in that case, you need to go to check with SAP itself.
Okay. So this is of
Just
no
give
use,
them.
right?
No, that is of no use. You have an IoT services which are active, so that is good. But
This is the
you
right
don't.
IoT.
Yeah, you have IoT cockpit.
Yeah.
But that is available for everybody now.
Yeah, yeah. Available for everyone, this IoT. So for premium partners and all, there will be less price, right, for integration service.
Correct.
And also, if it is not for commercial use or they think per practice, they may reduce further. Is it?
They might give it for free. It all depends on SAP.
Oh, okay. Then I'll
For
try
developers,
to.
they give it for free.
Yeah. So apart from that add-on, if they will take care, right? If we request saying that we need the integration service, they will take care what to do and all.
Yeah.
Or I need to request my basis people to do something.
No. Just first of all, request to raise a service one. Generally, you raise an incident or something, service request to.
Yeah.
And they will respond to it.
Yeah.
As soon as you have that, your tenant would be visible under this Java application. Okay.
In this three, one of these three will be the integration.
Correct.
Okay. But I can see what are the total number of artifacts and all, right? Just the flow and all. Anybody who has SID can view it, so that is not a big thing.
Which artifacts?
The services. I mean, how many integration packages are there?
Yeah, that is again altogether different. That is open for everybody.
Correct. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. I will do, but I try to get it by next weekend, and we will sit on that for a few minutes.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
And coming to this, you will be sending, no? If I read the
Yes.
document, I'll get a clear picture. If any doubts, tomorrow I will.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Anna.